Once upon a time there was a young wizard named Ethan who lived in a small village. Ethan longed for adventure and excitement beyond the sleepy village he called home. One morning, as Ethan was helping his mother in the garden, a mysterious letter arrived for him. It was an acceptance letter to a school of magic. Ethan could hardly contain his excitement. He hugged his mother and father and began packing his bags for the journey ahead. The next day Ethan set off on foot towards the towering mountains where the school of magic was hidden. As he hiked uphill, the air grew colder and the path became rocky and treacherous. After hiking for hours, Ethan finally caught sight of a massive castle nestled between two snowy peaks. "I made it," he cried out into the thin mountain air. With renewed energy, Ethan marched the last mile and crossed the castle's drawbridge. Inside the soaring Gothic hallways, Ethan followed the sound of voices to a set of huge wooden doors. Taking a deep breath, he turned the handle and stepped inside. He couldn't believe his eyes. For long wooden tables packed with chatting students dressed in robes of all colors. Floating candles danced above them, casting a magical glow about the room. At the front of the room, the teachers sat perched on a raised platform. Ethan took a seat at one of the tables, his heart pounding with anticipation. After a hearty feast, the headmaster stepped forward to make an announcement. He proclaimed that first-year students must be sorted into one of the school's 4 houses before starting classes. Ethan lined up with the other first-years to put on the sorting hat, a magical hat that would decide his house. After a moment of consideration, the hat shouted, "Gryffindor." Ethan smiled and joined his new Gryffindor classmates. Ethan soon settled into his classes and knew he had found where he truly belonged. He studied potions, charms, transfiguration, and even broomstick flying. One day, Ethan overheard some older students whispering about a hidden chamber deep in the castle rumored to contain an ancient magical creature. Ethan decided then and there to make it his mission to find the hidden chamber and see the creature for himself. That night, while everyone else slept, Ethan snuck out of bed with his wand at the ready. He crept through the moonlit corridors, descending stairway after stairway deep into the castle's underbelly. Finally he came across a large stone wall with an intricate carving of a serpent. "This must be it," Ethan whispered. He spoke the serpent's name, and the wall slid away to reveal a dark passage. Ethan lit his wand and followed the damp passage until he emerged into an enormous cavern with a waterfall. Near the back of the cavern, Ethan spotted movement in the shadows. This was it. With his heart thumping in his ears, Ethan yelled, "Show yourself." From the darkness slithered a colossal green dragon. The dragon peered at Ethan and spoke in a booming voice, "Young wizard, why have you disturbed my slumber?" Ethan was frozen in fear, but he managed to stutter, "Great dragon, I only wished to meet you. I mean you no harm." The dragon studied him for a moment, then broke into a toothy grin. "Few have shown such courage to seek me out. Well done. You may call me Fangus." Ethan was relieved. Fangwan offered to teach Ethan more advanced magic if he swore to keep the chamber secret. Ethan gladly accepted and thus began sneaking down to visit his new dragon friend whenever he could. Under Fanga's guidance, Ethan's skills as a wizard increased tenfold. But one night, while practicing spells, Ethan lost control. His fire spell exploded, singeing Fanga's snout. Fangas roared in rage, accusing Ethan of betraying his trust. Ethan tried apologizing but Fangas would not listen. He picked up Ethan in his claws and carried him up out of the chamber. After depositing Ethan safely outside, Fangas sealed the hidden entrance. Ethan was devastated that his mistake had cost him his friend. The next day during potions class, Ethan's potion started emitting purple smoke. Suddenly, the doors burst open and a panicked elf warned that a giant monster was attacking the school. Ethan rushed outside to find a massive troll stomping towards the castle gates. Without hesitating, Ethan raised his wand and shot spells at the troll. But it did nothing against the troll's thick hide. Just as all hope seemed lost, an ear-splitting roar pierced the skies. Fangas the dragon swooped down from the peaks and unleashed a jet of fire at the troll. The troll fled in terror from the intense flames. Fangas had come to Ethan's rescue. Ethan apologized again for the spell mishap, and this time Fangus forgave him. From then on, Fangus joined Ethan and his friends on all kinds of adventures. Exploring the depths of the ocean, soaring through mystical forests, defending castles from siege, their magical fellowship knew no bounds. Years later, when Ethan graduated from the school, he was sad to leave his home away from home. But he knew with his trusty dragon friend Fangus by his side, a lifetime of magical adventures still awaited.